You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. As of today, there are 2.2 million cases of COVID-19 in the United States. 27,000 of those cases are new. 119,923 people have died from the disease. 308 of those deaths are new. Now, of course, among the many ignorant remarks made by Donald Trump at his rally on Saturday, watch this one.
Here's the bad part. When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people. You're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please. They test and they test. We got tests that people don't know what's going on. We got tests. We got to know.
Now, after the rally, the Trump campaign said, we were just joking. Eugene, who the hell jokes about something that has killed nearly 120,000 Americans?
That's not a joking matter. And this is coming from the alleged most pro-life president ever, right? The one that now can account for 122,000 deaths, which very well may go up to 200,000 deaths by the time the election rolls around here. You don't joke about something like that, and then you also don't lie about it. President Trump and Vice President Pence were asking the governors to go out and lie and say, the issue is that we're doing more testing, so the rates are going up. But that doesn't account for the hospitalization rates or the death rates. And so the thing is this. When Donald Trump asks Black America, what do you have to lose? It's literally your life. Literally, when it comes to COVID, when it comes to the racial tension in the country right now, it's literally your life. Our community is more susceptible to it and has a disproportionate death rate. And look, and the thing is this, it could have been preventable. They could have came out in March and in February, March said, hey, everybody mask up. They could have in February, March, started deploying tests and figuring out, where to procure them and get them out there to help save lives. But what this president did was he discounted the virus, tried to racialize it. And then on top of that, delayed his response to it. And now we're seeing 122,000 deaths. And he thinks it's okay to get up at a rally and joke about it and joke about the slowing down because that's what he thinks helps him politically. I mean, that should be a call to arms for every single person to make sure they vote in November.
So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
Government's initial response to the pandemic has cost American lives.
Trump himself ignored warnings about the virus, making the U.S. slow to react.
Dr. Anthony Fauci admits government inaction may have cost American lives. If we would have done more sooner, more people would have lived.
Started mitigation earlier, you could have saved lives. There was a lot of pushback about shutting things down back then.
So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
Dr. Ebony Hilton, that surely has to piss you off that this man stood there and then came back and said, oh, no, I was joking.
Right. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And even when he says, this whole slow the testing down, yes, we performed 28 million tests in the United States, but that all depends on how many people you actually have living in your country. So we have 320 million people living in the United States. So we compare that to how we rank worldwide. We rank 26 as far as how many tests we've tested per million people. So you can't clap for yourself if you're 26 in the world.
Well, again, but not only that, the reality is he has previously said on numerous occasions that, we keep having these numbers showing an increase because we keep testing. That's the point of testing. Okay, right. D.L. Hughley now knows he's walking around with COVID-19. Right. That's why you test.
Right, exactly. And like I said, on Twitter, I wish D.L. Hughley the absolute best. And I also wish that everyone in the audience to go get tested for COVID-19 now. They also need to self-isolate. Like I said, we're 26 in the world as far as testing, but we are actually 9th in the world as far as how many people per 1 million people that we've had die from COVID-19. We're number one in the world for total number of cases of COVID-19 and total number of deaths for COVID-19. But Donald Trump, we already know that he doesn't make sense when he talks every day, but particularly when you're talking about in a pandemic that you're testing too many people and that you should slow down. I think the example he gave was that a 10-year-old had the sniffles, that they don't need to get tested. And I'm like, you're talking about a 10-year-old kid. He just has no bottom.
Well, again, though, but see, remember early on, remember when he did not want the folks coming off the cruise ship because he said that would increase our numbers of positive tests in the country. He doesn't want to see the bad numbers. And so now, I was just joking. No, I don't think he was joking. I think he absolutely put the clamps on it. That's why we barely seen Dr. Birx. That's why we barely seen Dr. Fauci. That's why you don't have daily reports going on. That's why Mike Pence is out there downplaying what's going on. And what's happening? Why am I weighing Houston strong? Because my people in Houston and my folks in my native city, all of a sudden, hospitals in Houston are telling doctors, discharge as many people as possible to free those beds up. The governor of Texas, all of a sudden, the guy who wants to open everything up, now says he's alarmed by the number increases. It's because of idiots like you, Greg Abbott. We're so insistent on ignoring people like Mayor Sylvester Turner of Houston, ignoring the mayor of Dallas, and county judges who were saying, slow this down, we're not ready. And now all of a sudden, numbers are going up.
Mm-hmm. And Texas is not going to be alone because, in America, we like to stick together. We're united. So they're going to be united with Florida. They're going to be united with Arizona. They're going to be united with South Carolina. All those states have at least 300 to 600% increase in their number of cases since opening up their economy. And so we talk about this time and time again. You can't open up an economy against a virus of which you have no strategy because biology will always win against economy. It does not care if you make $1 or not. And so until we have testing, tracing, and treatment in place, we're going to be in this constant battle of, did we open too soon? And now what do we do? And so we're seeing in Miami, they're already talking about having to close back down. In Houston, they're going to have to start closing back down. This is not going to be a unique situation. People are going to die in droves because we're just not ready.
This is an interview today with Joe St. George of Scripps Television at the White House, where he specifically asked Trump. Now, remember, he made the comment on Saturday. His aides came back and said, oh, no, he was joking. They went out on national television. But here is Trump answering the question. Listen very closely.
On Saturday night, you said that you told your staff to slow the testing down to improve the numbers. Does that mean someone watching this right now on their local news is not going to get a test because you asked your staff?
We do more testing than any country in the world by far, 25 million tests. Other countries do 1 million. Every time you do a test, as you do more tests, it shows more and more cases. So we're so far advanced, both in terms of the quality and the amount. And we're doing all these tests, and it shows cases. If other countries aren't doing, or if we did slow it down, we wouldn't show nearly as many cases. You're showing people that are asymptomatic. You're showing people that have very little problem. You're showing young people that don't have a problem. But we're doing so much testing, 25 million tests. Nobody thought that was possible.
But did you ask to slow it down?
If it did slow down, frankly, I think we're way ahead of ourselves, if you want to know the truth. We've done too good a job because every time we go out with 25 million tests, you're going to find more people. So then they say, we have more cases in the United States. The reason we have more cases because we do more testing than any other country by far.
Ebony, did you hear an answer?
I heard him say that we're doing too good of a job. And I don't, on what day ended in a why? I mean, this is when I say that there truly does need to be a 25th Amendment because we're into dangerous territory of where this is negligence. It's not even negligence. This is criminal activity of where you are intentionally trying to slow down a process by which your citizens are depending to live and not spread a virus to other citizens within the United States. That makes it's like bioterrorism on your own people. So I need whoever does the 25th Amendment to do that part. so we can do our job in the hospital, which is to try to keep as many people alive as possible. And right now we're losing that battle, and it's unnecessary.
I'm going to pull in my panel here, Mustafa. When you see what's going on here, again, what's happening in Texas, in Louisiana, in Alabama, we're seeing the cases in Florida. People need to understand that this thing is real. When I look at those photos with that woman who had a double lung transplant, Mustafa, and I see that COVID lung, I'm going, hey, y'all can go to hell with all this group get together and trying to hop on planes flying everywhere. This is still a deadly virus.
It's extremely deadly. But, you know, the problem is that the president likes to create these false narratives. You know, he built his career on being a marketer, if you really understand how he's been able to have whatever level of success that he's had. And that's because he frames out the narrative. So if he thinks if he can continue to tell people that everything is okay, if he continues to not wear masks, which sends a message across the country that, well, if the president isn't wearing one and many of the people who are part of his cabinet aren't, then that must mean that everyday Joe or everyday Connie, then it must be okay for me to continue to, emulate this type of behavior. And for me, I'm very clear. He is responsible for the 100,000 plus lives that have been lost. And he's also responsible for the trillions of dollars that have been a part of that loss. And I don't know why folks don't call it out, because lots of times if you talk to people about their pocketbooks, that may sometimes get their attention, unfortunately, before actually focusing on all the lives that have been lost, which is, of course, where we should first be focusing.
Avis, this is June. July 4th is coming up. And the reality is this, Avis, people are going to congregate. And look, we saw the same thing when people out there protesting. I totally understood, Avis, why they were protesting, but was a huge fear in terms of what's going to happen when all of a sudden these folks come back with these positive tests.
I know. It's so disturbing and frustrating when I go out and I see people acting like this thing is over. I'm like, it isn't, okay? I do feel fortunate living in Virginia that our governor has taken responsibility with ensuring and mandating that people wear masks when they are out in public, when they are in stores. I mean, all the stores have a sign on the door. Before you come in, you must put on a mask because they are responsible. We're responsible here because we, thank God, have a governor who is responsible. But the problem is that when you don't have a president who exhibits that level of leadership, you have a great level of variance across the nation in terms of what governors actually are looking out for the health of their citizens and what governors are not. And that is disturbing. I don't know how many times I've said on this show, and I think Trump just proved it the other day, that he was intentionally not testing or trying to reduce the level of testing specifically to suppress the numbers. And he has admitted that himself. It was out of his mouth. Listen to what he said. He said what he meant. He meant what he said. It was not a joke. And the sad thing is he does not care when people die as a result.
Eugene, this is about re-election. Pure and simple. This is about Donald Trump focusing on re-election, and he does not care if Americans die.
He doesn't. It's the only thing that matters. This is what matters from day one. That's what matters now. It's sad. Lives are being lost. And you're seeing, a lot of the Sun Belt governors follow his lead. You're seeing record numbers in Florida, and record numbers in Georgia, and record numbers in Arizona, when you don't need to, and lives don't need to necessarily be lost. But all of this is about Donald Trump getting reelected. He needs the economy to bounce back somehow, some way, to help spar his reelection. But if that Tulsa rally this weekend was any indicator of what's to come, if he can't pack out a rally in the middle of Oklahoma, then I think that Joe Biden might have a good day in November.
Ebony, look, you and I talk a lot, we text a lot, and the bottom line is you're out here working damn near 7 days a week. I mean, you're working your job, and all of a sudden you're going out here trying to test people on the weekends, traveling all around the state of Virginia. And this is where you need to have politicians who are taking this thing seriously, But what you have Republican governors who are so desperate to follow the lead of Donald Trump and keep following these crazy people who go, hey, what's the big deal, y'all? This is no biggie. And then they go into these stores. I'm trying to find the video. Somebody sent it to me of this guy who literally was about to fight Walmart workers because they said, you got to put a mask on. I mean, these people are absolutely out of their mind because they're like, I don't care. I'm not wearing a mask. Folks are dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I agree. I am very grateful that I am living in the state of Virginia. Governor Northam has been fantastic. He actually hired the first chief diversity officer, Dr. Underwood, to look at health equity amongst Black and brown communities, those in lower socioeconomic status, LGBT communities, the targeted vulnerable populations. He said, let's have a whole office dedicated to see what we can do to make sure we keep Virginians as safe and healthy as possible, which should be the ideal and goal for every state and every governor. But what we're seeing is that you literally can see where are the higher cases and what is the reopening strategy. And you can tell if that's a Democratic ran state or a Republican ran state. And that is absolutely insane. But it shows the American people what we need to do, which is in November, we have to vote these people out because they are voting along party lines and not along common sense. I mean, you don't even need scientific knowledge for this. It's just common sense.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Seek.com with a partnership with them, where, of course, Mary Spiel, she's the founder of Seek.com. She is the inventor of these 360-degree 4D headphones. Unbelievable sound. Folks, you can use this for gaming. You can also, of course, with music, videos, you name it. And so what's great about this is that the sound actually, so when you're listening, it literally travels all around your head as opposed to normal headphones. And so I really, really do like these listening to music. Like I say, they have a microphone that you can attach to it where you can use this when you're playing video games. And so they have a partnership with them. So if you want to buy these headphones, you go to Seek.com, but use this promo code RMVIP2020. RMVIP2020 to actually join. So please take advantage of that.